Hey, what's up, Leo? Welcome back to another timeless general tarot reading. Sorry that it has been a solid month or two since I've managed to put up a Leo video, but I'm excited that I've finally gotten back into the rhythm of things and I'm managing to get a video put out here for you. So I'm going to be doing my standard reading of 139 using the anime tarot as core energy, which the anime tarot is essentially exactly the same as the traditional tarot. There's just a couple cards that are named differently. They represent the same thing. And the two supporting energies are traditional tarot, so it's all traditional tarot. So without any further ado, allow me to find the core energy for your reading. Okay, well, right off the bat, you've got Ten of Swords. Ouch. Not great. Not really. It's a heavy card. I can't deny it's a heavy card. It can go multiple ways. It depends on how you focus on the energy. If you focus on the travesty itself, it can be very heavy, but if you focus on the ability for something new to occur, it can be a useful card. So let's see what kind of clarifiers you get. It really depends on what's going on in your experience. Also, your fire energy can kind of embolden the wind energy of the Ten of Swords can actually embolden your fire capacity. So something like this happening to you can actually make a difference in your experience. We had all three of these flip out at once. So you had Seven of Wands reversed, Four of Wands, Seven of Cups, 7-7. You tried to stand your ground on something that you thought was valid, but it wasn't as valid as you thought. It was on some kind of shaky ground, and that's part of why you have fallen into this Ten of Swords incident, because the utter reality of what you were standing on was proven to not be so good, and the sort of cause and effect of that was that you wound up in this Ten of Swords energy. You wound up unfortunately, it looks like you lost a little bit on this. You lost on standing your ground here. So I'm sorry that your judgment was a little off in that regard. And I'm sorry about whatever you were defending, but you were defending it from a place of fear, it looks like. That's why these swords wound up getting you in the end, because you couldn't protect them. You couldn't defend them all. And the eventual outcome of that is that they were going to be a cause to your detriment. So I'm sorry about that, because then what you got very interestingly is the Four of Wands following that. So even though you went through this defeat, it's almost as if it was a clearing event for more stability in your experience. So it's almost like, yes, you lost, yes, you were defeated, but it also took a weight off your back, so to speak. So sort of what I was speaking with the Ten of Swords, there's like a short-term loss, like the punch in the gut that hurts, but then now that you're out of the fight and you're kind of taking a step back, it's like, I feel stable now that I'm not in the fight, and you're not having to defend everything left and right. It's just a different form of stability. So one of those weird ways that it worked out for you in the end, kind of thing. It worked out to the point where now you can even start to explore some different variety again. So whereas you felt trapped very likely trying to contain all of these things, you felt very trapped trying to defend this position. Losing in this regard actually has opened you up to be able to seek a different variety. So interesting. It's tricky getting the Ten of Swords off the top, but it is very cool to see how it's working in your favor. And it's disappointing because you don't want to lose. The whole point of the standing your ground here wasn't to lose. You figured you were standing on some kind of stronger foundation, and I'm not sure why this was, so we're going to get these clarifiers here to see what's up with this, but maybe you're being manipulated, maybe your judgment was off, I'm not sure. We'll have to see if it was internal or external. But from the cards here, it looks like at the end of the day, you are moving into a better place, a place that's just freer for you. You feel more free. You're not trapped trying to defend all of this stuff, and you're not trapped dealing with this faulty judgment, which even though fire sign is Leo, you pride yourself in taking that action, and that action is what's paramount. Sometimes if that action is reckless, even though you're very comfortable taking the action, it's not necessarily going to serve you. And that looks like a little bit of what's going on here. Is it's just like your natural tendency to take this action built up a little bit of negative momentum that had to come crashing down on you at some point. So let's see what kind of clarifiers we've got here. First clarifier, Queen of Wands reverse. So Leo energy, toxic energy in the reverse. It's a sign that you were standing your ground on some not very endearing behaviors. Maybe you were too high on yourself. Maybe you were too full of yourself. And due to that fact, you were standing your ground on a very strange kind of egotism that wasn't as strong as you thought, because it was based off of that hollow type of mentalism, that toxic type of mentalism. And those things just aren't actually where strength resides. Strength resides in a different type of quality. So, interesting validation here for the type of energy that would yield you to standing on this false ground. And if you're standing on that false ground and you don't understand how that works against you and why these people want to challenge your position, it can all come crashing down on you. That's exactly what I'm seeing here. But once again, with these two clarifiers here, a good shot that you are learning something from that. Whoa, High Priestess on the bottom of that. So these two want to come out. Seven of Swords, the Hierophant. So you got now you do have 777 officially. Which I need to review my numerology. I don't remember exactly what sevens are. I'm a little rusty on the sevens and eights. 6, 7, and 8's a little rusty, but you have 777, a traditional sign of luck. One of them is in the reverse, but two of them are not. Once again, Seven of Swords is about indirect action. It's about succeeding through indirect measures. You're not just battering ram. You're not just taking a battering ram to the gate. You're convincing somebody on the inside to secretly open the gate. You're not just going into Walmart and taking things off the shelf. You're going in and you're sneaking something into your jacket to get it out of there. It's like there's a different level of indirectness to your success. So even though you can succeed and achieve through the Seven of Swords, the way you achieve, it's very key that you understand that it's indirectness, which often can be known as shoddy, like kind of bad behavior, but it's very subjective. So a little bit of what this could be signifying is that in this toxic Queen of Wands energy, you might have been succeeding in some fashion with some indirectness. And the problem, though, is that once people figure out that you start acting like this, they kind of wise up on you. And they will eventually band together against you, which is exactly what Seven of Wands reverse is talking about. And it's exactly what can yield you a Ten of Swords incident. And the Queen of Wands reverse, they're kind of toxic enough that they just don't care exactly. They're trying to serve themselves so hard in such a toxic manner. They're so full of themselves that they don't see the price that is being paid through spirit for acting indirectly like this. So another way, though, that I could read this is that these second cards are a call to pulling up from this. So Seven of Swords could be a different way of taking action and the different way of taking action in this instance would be not being toxic like this Queen of Wands, but being a more positive form of that energy. Being more embracing of others, being less conceited towards others, not standing so high and mighty above them. Stuff like that, like turning this energy around. And the Hierophant is kind of what that's suggesting. It would be suggesting that you turn towards those better qualities, that these more selfish qualities aren't actually what's going to serve you. What's going to serve you is some old school golden rule. So this is very interesting how it's kind of asking you to try something different, and what it's asking you to try different is turning around this Queen of Wands energy. You don't want to be this toxic Queen of Wands. You don't want to be this bigoted energy. It's one of the most bigoted it's one of the most bigoted court cards in the whole tarot. Out of all of the suit cards, the reverse Queen of Wands can be extremely bigoted, and partly that's due to their primal energy. Once they start to embrace their energy, they can feel like they're so great because they've tapped into that primal force, and they can take all the actions necessary. Hold on, give me 1 second. I hear something outside. Give me 1 second to check the outside. Alright, sorry about that. My brother came home with some buddies, so that's all it was. Alright. Thank you for your patience. So yeah, I think I've gotten that point across. You even have the King of Wands on the bottom of the deck, which is, like I said, an example of turning around that energy. So I'm going to try and wrap this up real quick because... Yeah! Hold on. Okay. Hold on one more second. Alright, sorry about that, I'm back. I'm gonna finish this reading because I like where it's going. Sorry, my brother brought 4 friends over, so there might be some background noise, but they're not being too loud or anything right now. Alright, so my apologies for that. Let me find some clarifying energy here for you. Dang. Whoa. Jeez. Very strange. So you just had the Death card reverse flip out, the Magician, and the Ace of Wands flip out. Those are very strong. But you also very bizarrely had the Ace of Pentacles fall out on top of your Queen of Wands. So I'm going to take that. And I'm going to read this as... graciousness to others is not only a way to get the reciprocation to you, but it's a way that you form this energy. It's a way you turn around this Queen of Wands reversed. It's through graciousness. It's not through the bigotry. And then, very strangely, we also have the Death card in reverse, which is usually resisting some kind of change. So, you might be very resistant to acting like this. But if you want to achieve this stability, you're going to need to do that. And it's very disappointing because then on the tail end of this, you've got the Magician and the Ace of Wands. 1-1. Very powerful combination. And it's in your Ace of Fire. So, it's about your desires coming to fruition, and the Magician is about your manifestational capacity. So you have the ability to take this indirect action properly. You have ability to achieve things naturally through your manifestation. And if you can apply the golden rule here and actually listen to some higher wisdom, higher power, some more conventional wisdom, you can actually achieve your desires. You can actually feel your success. You don't have to feel disappointment. You don't have to feel this failure of 7 of Wands reversed, 10 of Swords. The Ace of Wands is your desire manifesting and being able to feel that. So the only thing that's really showing here that you need to turn around is acting like this toxic queen. And to do that, you've got to do some graciousness. And I don't know why you're resistant to that. You're resistant to changing that part of you. Maybe it's earned you a certain type of stability that you appreciate, that you cherish. But it's not going to help you. And it's just very bizarre because then you're next to the Magician in the upright. If it was in the reverse, it would make more sense, but it's in the upright. So like, there's so much potential around you here. There's so much potential, but you've got to rectify this Queen of Wands energy in reverse. It's not your more endearing quality. So we're up at 16 minutes. Okay, so that was pretty quick. So we've got the King of Wands that came out. It was trying to come out earlier. This is the energy you need to evolve into. This is the energy that you need to stop resisting. The more conscientious version of your primal force. That is who can manifest this energy, and that is who can embrace this golden rule sort of higher wisdom to a better extent. And then on top of that, if you can be that King of Wands, if you can be that conscientious, that allows you to be more diligent in sifting through your options. You can be more decisive, which means that you can pick the best of the variety around you. So it's all there for you to turn this all around, but you've got to resist wanting to stay the same here as this Queen of Wands reversed. You've got to embrace the difference that is trying to be given to you here, which is very interesting because 10 of Swords to 7 of Wands reversed. It's not who you want to be, and you're going to keep being stuck. You're going to continue to be stuck in these energies until you can evolve like this. So, very interesting. King of Wands coming out, very, very interesting. See if I can get you 2 more clarifiers here. Alright, so we've got 2 of Pentacles. So, not bad. Maybe a cliche thing could be to say that you need to balance your variety to a certain extent. We're seeing it juxtaposing the King of Wands and the Magician. So, not only are you being asked to balance, you're being asked to apply your manifestational capacity and your conscientiousness. Not just one or the other. And if you get stuck doing one or the other, you could very likely get stuck not being willing to change. Or maybe if you manifest too much but you don't focus on conscientiousness, you turn toxic. Or if you are purely conscientious but you don't manifest anything, that can also lead you to some toxicity. Very interesting. And also, it's also kind of a sign to balance your variety very rarely. So usually when I read 7 of Cups, it's about picking the best option. But with 2 of Pentacles here kind of on the clarifier, that's almost a sign that you might have a solid balance of choices. But there might be a pair of choices or even, 3 or 4 options that if considered properly can actually balance out very well. It might be necessary for you. So that's very interesting. But another sign here that you've got to find this balance to get over this resistance to this change. So let's find your final clarifier, and then I'm going to cut this reading so I can go visit with my brother for a second. Didn't know he was going to bring so many fellows over. Alright, so last clarifier for Leo, please. Last Leo clarifier. This is actually a pretty quick reading. If it hadn't been interrupted, it might have been a 10-15 minute reading. I've been managing to pick up the pace a little bit for my reads. Just take some practice. Alright, so, like I said, please, Great Goddess, can I get one final clarifier for Leo? For Leo's Seven of Cups. Alright, so, final clarifier, we've got Page of Swords. Interesting. So, wind emboldens your fire. Page of Swords, Magician, Ace of Pentacles, Page of Swords, Two of Pentacles, King of Wands, Page of Swords, Ace of Wands, the Hierophant. So, all positive energy crossing on this Page of Wands, or Page of Swords, that's very interesting. The Page of Swords is somebody who's willing to speak out. They're willing to speak truth, but in the upright, they can do it very, very constructively. They don't just spin anything. It's like a young kid who's always saying the beautiful truth. And the beautiful truth is a form of manifestation. And if you can, it also allows you to sift through your options. So you've got some energy here. This is part of how you would sift through these options. And it seems to be a key to your manifestational capacity and a key to your ability to actually achieve your desires. It's a piece of this puzzle. It works well through energy, being a fire sign. And it's really cool how you got King of Wands in your read, because, and technically you got Queen of Wands even though it was in reverse, but you've got a lot of fire in your reading, which some of the other signs have been missing their own sign, their own signifiers to a certain extent. We didn't get Leo in this reading, or we didn't get the Strength card in this reading, but kind of an interesting clarifier. It's just a sign to really sift through your choices, find the right balance in those choices, apply some conscientiousness. That's going to make a big difference. Embrace your own manifestational capacity. Between your own manifestational capacity and your own conscientiousness, make sure that you balance the application of those things, because one or the other isn't going to serve you as well. It's going to stagnate you. Turn away from this toxic Queen of Wands energy, this bigoted energy, this high and mighty energy that's not even based on solid foundations. It's already tumbled down. So there's a good shot that you've already been embarrassed to some degree dealing with this. Turn away from that. Be more gracious for yourself and for others. Try something different. And the thing that you need to try that's different is the golden rule. Being more gracious to other people. And if you can do that, there's a good shot that you can actually feel what your desires are supposed to feel like. So when you have an anticipation and it actually works for you, when you actually achieve that anticipation, the way that feels, that great feeling, that is the Ace of Wands in the upright. That is on your horizon. If you can embrace these qualities. And the qualities you have to embrace is manifestational capacity, trying something different, golden rule, not giving up on your truth, but making sure that the truth you say is constructive, and channeling some conscientiousness, some graciousness. And if you can do that, you can balance out your variety. You can balance a lot of these qualities out. So we're looking at balancing a lot of energy here. Especially if you're considering the Two of Pentacles balancing out Page of Swords and Magician, King of Wands and Magician. You can even consider that to a certain extent it's balancing out the Death card and the Ace of Wands. But a ton of call to be balanced here. A ton of call to embrace multiple capacities, multiple genuine capacities, multiple dignified capacities. And if you can do that, there's a lot of stability and a lot of variety on your horizon, and a lot of anticipation coming through for you in terms of your manifestations. So that's all I've got for you, Leo. I really hope this gets through to you. I hope this helps. There's a lot of potential here for you to make this difference. If you don't make the difference, you're going to get stuck in some of the same patterns, but there's a lot of optimism here that you can pull up from this, that you can make the difference that I'm talking about. Most of the reading is showing that you have that capacity. There's just like one or two things you've got to change. So I hope you can figure that out. I'm going to cut the reading here. Thank you very much for being here. Take care. By the way, if you liked the video, make sure that you hit the like button. Leave a comment below if you have any suggestions or comments. Subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined. Check the description box for ways that you can actually support me through social media. Don't be afraid to share the video, and if you're feeling extremely grateful, don't be afraid to send me a few bucks on PayPal. That would make a huge difference in my experience. So thank you very much for being here, Leo. Take care, and good luck.